Okay, we're gonna call the Rutherford County Public Works and Planning Committee to order, and I'm gonna ask Mr. Brad Turner, would he mind saying prayer?
Dear Lord, thank you again for allowing us the privilege to serve our fellow citizens, Lord, in this role, and ask that you give us guidance tonight, Lord, give us the clarity in our discussion, Lord, and help us to have open ears and honest discussion about public works this evening. Ask that you be with our families where they're at, Lord, and thank you again for your Son Jesus in this wonderful season of Christmas. Ask this in your name. Amen.
Amen. Okay, we need to approve minutes for the last meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions on the minutes for the last meeting? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the first item, building codes.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, you have your report on the table. Activities in the Building Codes Department for the month of November was 124 building permits issued. We took in $100 for plan review. Permit fees was $17,086. Plumbing fees, $2,970. Gas permit fees, $1,165 for a total of $21,321. On the back of the report, totals for the year. So far, we've issued 307 single-family dwellings. Total permits issued, 1,712. On the next report is our property maintenance inspections. Property maintenance, we performed 170 inspections in November for a total of 2,576 for the year. Our conditional use BZA cases and sign inspections was 43 for a total of 783 for the year. Our closed cases for the year was 984 and our new cases 650. Totals for November was 43 new cases and 70 closed cases. Next report would be our collection of the development tax. Building Codes Department took in $41,250. Planning Department took in $2,250. $43,500 is our total. Our cumulative total, $396,750. The totals for each jurisdiction is below that, with Murfreesboro City evidently our largest collection jurisdiction for the month of November. And that's my report, Mr. Chairman.
Anybody got any questions? You need to ask the director on the report. No, I'll take a motion to approve the report.
I'll take a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
Manny? Mr. Bill DeMasi.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. The handout that I gave you is our subdivision lot inventory. You'll notice this looks a little bit different than it has in the past. We've got it down to 8.5 by 11. Same information, just a little more manageable as far as the paper size is concerned. There weren't any newly recorded plats last month. You'll notice that on the third page we have our total available lots of 1,605. Which at this time last year is pretty much the same. It went up just a couple lots. It was 1,603 from last year at this time. Along with that, we've also provided at the next page, you'll see the subdivision plats that are not recorded. Starting on the next page after that, you might have to unclip clip it from the thing to get a better look at it. We've provided some information on subdivision lot inventory, subdivisions by the different school zones. You'll notice the first few pages are by high school zones, and then we also broke them down by middle school and also elementary school zones. This is pretty much every recorded, not recorded, even expired plats are recorded or part of this list. We thought this was something that would be beneficial for you to look at. It's something we also have been, we just really started this, but we forwarded also to the school board for their information. This is something that we have the ability to provide every month. However, we were wondering if the commissioners might like it quarterly or even twice a year or every 6 months. Especially right now, it's not changing a whole lot. But however often you want it, we can obviously we can get it as often as you'd like it. But this is something we would like to start providing to you on a more frequent basis. But we're just wanting a little direction from you as to how often you might want to see it. So.
Every quarter be enough, wouldn't it?
Every quarter. Okay. Absolutely.
Is there any way to provide this to the Health and Ed Committee as well?
Yes.
'Cause I
Actually,
think
we
they-
could probably provide it to the whole county commission.
I feel specifically Health and Ed would benefit from seeing this as well.
We can do that.
And then is there any way to know, and it may not be, I assume it's probably not public information, there's no way for you to know what these same running totals would be inside the municipalities?
No, well, it seems that every municipality keeps up with their own. It seems like Murfreesboro's got it broken down like this. Of course, the last ones that I've seen were only for the Murfreesboro City School zones, not necessarily for the county schools. So I'd have to check with them to see if they have that information or how it could be provided to us, if it could be.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just thinking, even if we had to figure out the school zone, if they had it by street, it just seems like it would be valuable information, especially since there's going to be this big push to build Stewart's Creek. It would be interesting to see, you know, because there's going to be some inside Murfreesboro, some inside Smyrna, some in the county that are all going to impact that area. So we don't have, I mean, this is a great snapshot, but we don't have the full picture unless we're looking at the municipalities too.
Right, yeah, and this, just for clarification, I think everybody realizes this, but this is just for the unincorporated areas, that what we're looking at. But
You could just
we'll see
ask.
what we can find out.
You know, I don't want to create a ton of extra work for somebody. I mean, I know it's going to be a certain amount of, you know, effort to put it together, but I mean, nothing that's going to justify a new position or, you know, anything enormous like that.
Right.
It's just,
Yeah.
it'd just be good to know, to be able to see the whole picture.
Let me see what we can do.
Okay.
I'll see what we can come up with. Does anybody have any questions about the either the lot inventory or the by the school zones?
I think that right there is as good ad as I've seen in a while. I wish we'd had that all along.
If there's no questions about that, I'll move on to the zoning report. Your packets that you have show that we did have one rezoning, a conditional use permit for a piece of property at 102 Camden Court. This is a piece of property, it's right off of Old Fort Parkway or Franklin Road to the west of Cason Lane, going out toward Franklin in that area. They were asking for rezoning of a piece of property that's currently zoned R15 to services for an orthodontist office. After a good amount of discussion at the Planning Commission, there was a motion to deny that, which did carry. So there is a recommendation for denial. After the meeting, about a week later, we met with the applicant and also the applicant's design engineer. They've actually asked for this to be removed from the Board of Commissioners' agenda because they'd like to make some changes to it and bring it back to the Planning Commission. The changes they're looking to do it wouldn't be proper to bring it to the Board of Commissioners at this point without the Planning Commission looking at it first. So, although it says that there is a public hearing scheduled, we've since sent a notice to the Murfreesboro Post that this has been pulled off the agenda, so you will not be considering this. We expect this to go to the January meeting for the Planning Commission, and then probably before you in February at this point. So, unless you have any specific questions about that, that's pretty much the zoning report.
But you got anything else, Doug?
Just a couple of announcements, really, more than anything. First of all, you'll see that this is our final draft of our comprehensive plan. We're going to be having a public hearing before our Planning Commission this coming Monday, which is the 13th, at 6 p.m. It's actually right in the courtroom behind us. So if you're able to make it to that meeting, we hope that you can. Again, 6 o'clock this coming Monday, the 13th. Also, a reminder about the joint training seminar we're going to be putting on with Consolidated Utility District, CUD. Planning and Engineering and CUD are holding a joint training. It'll be December 17th, starting at 10 o'clock, and we'll be over at CUD's office at New Salem Road. And they'll be providing a lunch for us. We'll be doing a training. Planning Engineering will be providing a training in the morning. We'll have lunch, and then Larry McElroy with CUD will be doing a training in the afternoon. We expect to be done by about 2 o'clock, so it won't be. It'll be half a day, I guess, but kind of midway through the day, if you will. So if you're able to go to that, if you could let me know, I would appreciate it. That way, we'll have a count to give Mr. McElroy as far as how many to expect for providing the lunches and everything. Also, we've been trying to email agendas to you, at these public works agendas especially, after they're completed. We run into situations sometimes with some of the emails being bounced back to us because maybe the size is too large, or sometimes I know sometimes you don't get them because it's recognizing it as a virus, even though it's a PDF when there's not a virus on it. Your browsers are running into issues like that, your email providers. Something that we thought about doing, and I kind of wanted to run it by you to see what you thought. If we were to put these on our website and then just send you the link to it, rather than you getting the email, you just get an email from us saying, hey, the agenda's ready, you can download it at this location. Would that be something that would work okay for you?
That'd be fine for me.
Okay. Okay, and that's what we'll move toward then. We'll try to do that. Because sometimes when the agendas get larger, too, we're having to break it up into 2 or 3 different emails, and that gets cumbersome trying to keep that all worked out on emails when you get them. So
You're saying if you go to that, you won't be passing out no information in?
Well, basically, rather than just sending us directly to your email, what we'd be doing is sending you an email saying our agenda's located at this link. You can go and download it. I mean, we would still.
Well, if people ain't got email.
We can still provide it to their box. That's not a problem. Just however you'd rather get it, we'll be more than happy to do that. So. That's pretty much all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Anybody on the committee got any other questions for Doug? If not, I'll take a motion to approve this agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the report.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. I will say, I forgot to say, this is actually on our website. If you go to the planning department's website, you can download this. So, thank you.
Mr. Mike Williams, Road Superintendent.
How are y'all?
Good, how are you?
First item I have is our road book, and if you spin your box, there's one in each one of your boxes. If it's not, I'll be glad to get you one, but I hope it's in there.
Did you bring any extra money?
Got you again, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
Joe can give you one.
One tonight and then one later will be fine.
As most of you know, we have to update this book yearly in December, and hopefully we've got all the corrections in that need to be corrected, and it's ready for your approval.
Yeah, very nice.
Approve them both at one time.
You're gonna, what about the drainage?
Well, that's the yearly drainage easements. It's got everything in there up to date through November. So it's ready for approval also. And there's one of those in your box too.
We'll take them and do them all at one
Yeah.
time.
Be
Do you think?
You got anything else, Mike?
Yeah, I've got one more item. It's a
Just take them all.
budget transfer.
Well, we better take these first.
I will need your approval.
let's, take a motion to approve, the road book and the drainage easement book before we do this budget item.
So moved.
Second.
Any question on the road book or drainage easement book? Not all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, now we'll take the budget.
Some of you may have heard on the news, I know it's been on the national news as well as local news about a state mandated change in road signs. This year, we've started doing that process. We have to change all the road name signs to a certain size and a certain reflectivity as well as the stop sign. We increased our budget from last year over double. We had $50,000 in there, and we've already spent that 50 and looking to spend another 50. Possibly could spend more, but I think that'll get us through this year. So I'm proposing to take $50,000 out of highway equipment and put it into our sign line item.
What will you do without on the highway equipment to make the transfer?
Well, the new EPA restrictions on the larger diesel trucks, we're having a lot of problems with those, and I don't look to buy any trucks this year till they get that straightened out.
Okay.
So I think we'll be fine in highway equipment.
Any other questions? Now I'll take a motion to approve the budget.
So moved.
Second.
Can we send a resolution to our state legislators and ask them to repeal this unfunded mandate?
Well, it would,
Started in Washington.
Yeah, this is a
This
federal
is,
mandate.
I thought it
federal.
was the state.
federal for the whole United States. A lot of these states and counties ain't even got money, but they passed it in Congress and all over the United States got to do it.
There was a news item on the national news about 2 weeks ago. New York City it's going to cost them $28 million to change their sign.
It's the cities too, it's not just counties,
Yeah.
it's all of them.
What was the reasoning behind that?
Safety, they say they're easier to read. You've got to have, the road name signs have to be capital and lowercase letters, and on a high reflectivity sign. And the stop signs have to be at least 30 inches with high intensity reflection on those too. So all of our signs were 24 stop signs, and of course we didn't meet the criteria for the others, so all of ours are going to be changed.
I would like to say that these signs are really nice. They are so much more readable. It's really really good.
I agree.
Even though it's costing us money, it's major improvement. They're doing a good job with it.
Yeah, we've got till 2015, and we figured just a rough estimate, it's probably cost us $300,000 to $400,000 to change them all.
Wow.
How many of them are done? How many?
We got about
been done now?
10%.
10%.
We're trying to get the signs on the major roads before we get into too many subdivisions, changing all those. But it'll be a 2 or 3 year process.
Have you had to hire more people to help with this, or was the manpower sufficient?
Now we're using, we bought a new sign machine, and one guy can operate it. And this winter we hope to do a lot of that installation with our mowing crew. A lot of those, if they're not cutting guardrails, we're using those people putting up signs.
Will this affect private easements?
No, not unless it's our road. We don't have to do anything to the private roads.
I just wondered if the mandate affected them.
I don't think so. I don't think there's any way you could probably make them do that.
Yeah, I don't know.
What's the penalty if we don't do it?
Withhold our funds.
Just like everything else.
Yeah.
They put that in the law, but there's,
How much money do we get from them?
Well, we get money from the state, and of course, the state would cut the money off coming, the federal government gives it to the state, and the state would probably have to cut our money out.
You have a dollar amount,
We get
how much
about,
that would
right now, we're getting about $4.5 million from the state.
Is all that from the federal government, or?
Well, it comes from state gasoline tax, and we get a portion of, I'm sure that.
Well, what
we get a portion
percentage of the money that we get from the state comes from the federal
I
government?
can't answer that.
I just have a problem with all these federal mandates and all these things they require us to do, and they hold a carrot of money out there, and we always jump at it to get the free money, and then we end up with all these mandates we've got to follow. We've got to wean ourselves off of this free federal money.
Yeah, the way it's coming over the national and state news, I think the whole country's going to be in an uproar before it's over.
I agree with Commissioner Stevens that some of these counties, like Cannon County and some of these others, that ain't got money like Rutherford. I don't know how some of these small counties are all gonna do. These people sit up in Congress, pass these laws, and expect to pass it on down to people and ain't even got money. But anyway, we gotta do it, so we ain't got no choice. Any other questions?
How much, you said you had to purchase a new sign-making machine?
Yeah,
Was that already going to be purchased?
We already got that.
Okay, so that wasn't.
We're in the process of using it now.
That was my concern, was that was another purchase that we weren't budgeting for because of the mandate.
I think that sign somewhere around $7,000, but the material is quite expensive that you have to use because of the high reflectivity. It's probably 3 times what we were using cost-wise.
Well, and part of my concern is 3 years from now, somebody new will get in there and they'll pass something new, and then we'll be redoing this again, and more unfunded nonsense coming down that just doesn't make sense to me when people don't have the money.
Yeah, that will probably happen.
These counties that don't have money to buy a machine, I'll make them myself, really gonna cost them when they have to purchase a sign.
Yeah, we're saving probably $4 or $5 a sign by doing our own. And not only that, it's the speed of getting a sign. If I had to order a sign today, say a sign was stolen today, and I had to order it, it might take a month to get it, and then you're out. That road hasn't got a sign on it for a month. And we can make one in 5 minutes and put it up the same day.
Would you want to be in the sign business and see
I'd
about
love
what
to.
I was thinking about?
I would love to be in 3M's business.
Well, I'm just thinking if there are counties that nearby, like Cannon County, that, you know, they have to order signs anyway.
Yeah, well, we couldn't sell it to another
Okay.
county anyway. The sign business would be, it's gonna be great.
Interesting.
Because a lot of times when we order, it's on back order. We can't even get the blanks to make them.
Any other questions? Mr. Wheat?
We're going to vote on this. I have another question, but it's not on this.
Okay. We need to call a roll on this.
Commissioner Allen?
Aye.
Commissioner Black?
Yes.
Commissioner Jones?
Yes.
Commissioner Sereno?
Yes.
Commissioner Stevens?
No.
Commissioner Turner?
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Yes.
Do you file with this committee the major thoroughfare plan? Do we see that from you from time to time?
That comes from the planning department.
I'm done.
Mr. Stevens?
Can we send a resolution to our new congressmen and our senators and ask them to repeal this unfunded mandate, or send us the money to do this?
We can send anything. But
Well, I'd make a motion.
I'd say if we're gonna send it, and I'm gonna make sure I'm clear on this, would we be better off sending it on the commission or send it back to steering and let them send it forward?
Well, the steering committee's gonna meet with our state legislative delegation early January the 5th or the 11th, so you could start with them if you want to, but I think you're gonna have to send it on to Washington as well.
My question is, if he want to send it, we need to just pass it here on the full commission, or do you think we need to send it to steering and let them bring it to full commission by the rules?
I believe this committee could send it straight on.
I'm
if you want to,
satisfied
since
with
it has
myself.
nothing
I
to do
just
with
wanna
anything
make sure.
except just the signage on our roads.
We got a motion, we ain't got no second yet.
Right.
I need a second.
Second to Commissioner Stevens, second.
We probably need to call a roll on this.
No, it can be acclamation.
Okay, said we don't have to. Any questions on the motion? Read it again, Becky, let's make sure.
Forward a resolution to Congress opposing unfunded mandates such as changing out road signs, or in the alternative, send the money to do the mandate.
I think part of that needs to say specifically that we want them to repeal this rule that's requiring us to do the signs.
You got that? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay. Anything else, Mr. Williams? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Landfill report. Before we start on the landfill report, it just reminded me, Keith Pratchett's here with the road board member, and at Walter Hill there, where they already got the turn lanes marked out there, and they want to change a red light to add the turn signals on it. And you got a copy of it, Jack?
I think we brought this up last meeting. We brought it last meeting.
I don't think it was last meeting, but it was a while back.
Any other business or something? I think Commissioner Allen.
If you're familiar with
you
that area,
asked how
if you're
much the
traveling
cost
Jefferson
gonna be?
Pike.
I don't remember discussing this. I don't know that it's,
I
I
tell you what
don't think it's
we'll
come
do,
up with this group.
Let's suspend.
Let me get out of your way.
Suspend the rules and let Road Board Commissioner Bratcher speak on.
All in favor, suspend the rules.
Aye.
I got a copy of it. I had spoken with T-Dot. I know Mr.
All we're looking to do is what he's presenting, is forward this to the budget committee to approve that.
We had, well, I know I'd received several calls, and I know Commissioner Black had, about this intersection and the light right there. There's already, on the north and southbound approach, there's already a turn signal. On the east and west approach on Jefferson Pike, the turning lanes are already there. There's just no traffic signal there. So especially in the morning times, there's a Walter Hill School there, most people going to work. The only other outlet right there would be Hedge Apple Lane, where there's no light there, so it's really hindrance to make that left-hand turn, either going back towards Lebanon or back towards Murfreesboro. So I had spoken with T-Dot several weeks ago to this. After speaking with them, the turning lane's already there, so there's not going to be not any modification to the road. So they just said that the jurisdiction of the light would be up under the city or county, which after speaking with Dale, and there's it is under the jurisdiction of the county, but the county, and it's a intergovernmental agreement the county has with the city, and the city maintains that light, and if any maintenance on it, they pay to have it done, and then the county just reimburse them. So after speaking with Ron Belcontra, he's the city traffic engineer, they've already got the cost estimate through S&W Contracting, which that's who does theirs, and that's what's on that second page. That's what it would cost to add this the turning signals to that light. So.
What is it cost?
It's $1,922.82.
What's the 10% contingency?
Ma'am,
10% contingency of $163.50.
what is that?
What is that?
I have no idea.
That's just in case they miss that estimate. I mean,
Plus
it's
minus.
not a hard figure.
Okay.
But again, like I say, this is definitely warranted. It's, I live off of East Jefferson Pike, and when I come that way, try to get out there in the morning time, it's just terrible. So this would definitely ease that pain.
What we need to do is a motion to send this on to the budget committee.
I'll make a motion to send it to the budget.
I'll second.
To approve and forward it right.
Approved.
Approved, yes.
Anybody got any more questions on what we're asking to do here? Need to call a roll on this.
I can.
Better just finish.
I got a question. Could this, I guess they got the contracted out with S&W, right?
Yeah, I think they do all the, I think S&W has all the contract for the city.
The city handles all the lights, so whoever they got.
Yeah, that's who,
we don't-
and that's who
we
the,
don't have
yeah. I think that's
I'd
who they
like to, well, I guess that's reasonable. I guess that's reasonable. I don't know, as far as,
I understand what you're saying about
Right.
somebody else bidding.
Right.
To be honest with you,
just-
I don't know that there's anyone else here in Murfreesboro that really that does that type of work.
Let me correct, the city is gonna handle it, and they're
Right.
not gonna take a bid. They got a
Right.
contract to do all of it.
Right, that's correct.
The S&W,
Right,
instead of bidding all of them.
right.
They bid it now like every 2 or 3 years,
sure.
but
Right.
as long as their contract's still good, say for the next 2 years, they'll just tell them to do it and then they'll bill them. So,
Yeah.
that's the way it's been, 'cause I know 3 or 4 we've been into since I've been up here. Just like the one at Oakland High School.
Right.
Seems like all the more reason they ought to know the price.
Huh?
I said that seems like all the more reason why they ought to know the price. You know, where there's the 10% contingency. I'm just thinking if you've got a contract with somebody, they obviously won that contract because they had the best price. And so the fact that there's the 10% in there just makes me say all the more reason they ought to know the price ahead of time.
Yeah. Any other questions? All right, we'll call a roll on it.
Commissioner Allen?
Aye.
Commissioner Black?
Aye.
Commissioner Jones?
Yes.
Commissioner Sereno?
Yes.
Commissioner Stevens?
Yes.
Commissioner Turner?
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Yes.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd just like to say, I appreciate the
Taking your
committee
time coming up.
supporting this. It's a definite need for it out there, and Tiffany, if you speak a little bit on that, you.
I go to church out there, so I know.
She goes to church out there. It's a definite, really appreciate it.
And what he mentioned too was the school traffic in the morning and afternoon. What you need to remember is there's landfill traffic through there all day.
Absolutely.
And that's, after the school's over, those trucks are still rolling. One thing you may want to consider on that is to move the stop margins back towards Murfreesboro and towards Lebanon. The way that intersection angles, it's hard to make that turn with a big truck. If they'll back those cars off of that stoplight, another car length to make that turn at least.
That would be the
You had to
state.
get in the state, at both of them state roads.
Or more than likely, we might get with Senator Tracy, road board commissioner.
And driving our roll-off trucks and our front-loader trucks coming out of Jefferson Pike turning toward Murfreesboro, if you don't time your turn just right, you'll have to stop and back up.
Absolutely.
What about Ben, as you brought it up, won't you write something up and get it to me, and I'll get the key on the road board, and we'll let them handle it.
Okay, okay.
That way you'll have it in writing what you want.
Okay, now, of course, we're just a small percentage of the
Yeah.
traffic, but we are
I
part of
mean,
the
I
traffic.
agree with you, but I think we're better off to get it down.
There are a lot more trucks that are bigger than ours that are coming right through.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Many, many
Yeah.
more.
I mean, I agree with everything you're saying, but you know exactly what you're talking about that way.
On the top page of your report is the landfill report. Of course, things are slow. The trash business is slow, even through the industry. I've talked to some of those people. Recycle is down, and our deliveries to our landfill is down. Everything else is going pretty well at the landfill, though. We had a state inspector out there just this week, looked at everything, and he's got some issues that he wants us to address, but nothing major whatsoever, and a lot of it's weather related. So as soon as the weather breaks, we get those taken care of, and we're back on track at the landfill. Any questions on the landfill?
I've just got a question. I had talked to you a couple months ago about this. You had mentioned about coming out there to actually look at the landfill. I haven't had the opportunity still to go out there yet. What's a way where myself and some of the other commissioners that might not have been out there, you know,
Anytime y'all like to come, we're open Monday through Friday except for holidays. We're closed all the holidays from 7 to 3. But if you want to, you know, get a group together and go out there in a van or something, let me know and we can do that as well.
I would like to do it, just given the fact I work in Nashville, so I can't make it in between those working hours. But I'd like to.
We could do it on
a group of
late
commissioners
afternoon or Saturday or something if y'all chose to do that.
You give them your number, anybody wants to contact you, and you could let them just get with you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've been through, I don't know how many times since I've been up here, and Jack has, any of the others that wanted to, if they.
Of course, while we're there, we're right next door to Middle Point landfill, so you can see some of their operation from
Just
our
in
operation.
the 898 number?
That number, our cell phone number is 881-6866.
Say that again, I'm sorry.
881-6866.
Thank you.
And the landfill for the holidays will be closed on the 23rd and the 24th, which is, Christmas is actually on Saturday, so it'll be the Thursday and Friday. And then the county holiday for the next week is actually Friday and Monday, but we're going to take the Thursday and Friday again, purely selfish reasons. I look back through historical data, the day after Thanksgiving is the biggest day of the month for us as far as taking in revenue. I want that revenue instead of going next door. So. We're open
So
up that day.
you open on Saturday, right?
No, sir. We're only open on Saturday through the summer months.
Oh.
Actually, it's more than summer months. April through October is what we've been doing.
I'd like to apologize to you, Commissioner. What we brought up was the convenience center out there. That's what it was. I had two depression issues, and I know that's an excuse. Go ahead, I apologize for that.
But that's all I have on the landfill. If you want me to move on to the convenience center, unless you have a question.
Anybody got any more questions on the landfill? Okay, we'll move on to the next.
All right, moving into the convenience center. Holiday schedule on the convenience center is going to be a little bit different. The 23rd, which is Thursday, is a normal close day for us. And then we'll be closed, so we'll be closed the 23rd, 24th, 25th, and 26th. So it'll be the Thursday through Sunday. We will open, this is special days, we'll open Monday through Friday the following week. We're normally closed on Monday and Thursday, closed on Saturday the 1st, and then we're right back on regular schedule. The mayor and I discussed it at length. The reason we decided to close on that Sunday after Christmas is everybody's coming, and we've got roughly 40 swap boxes. So if we open, we'd wind up closing just about every center early. And if they're already got it loaded on the truck, it's going to go somewhere besides back home with them. So we'll be better off just advertise that we're closed.
Can it be, if we're gonna close it on that day, can we put a sign on the gate where these people will know and not be coming up there?
We've already started all but 4, so 10 of them already have the signs on the gates. 4 of them still like to do. It's a little bit cold to get them up right now. And then the 4 unmanned sites, we're going to put the same signage up on those since we're not going to run any trucks.
You will have signs on them?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Those of you that frequent the convenience centers, if you remember the closed Easter Sunday sign we had up, it's the same size sign. It's just turned in where we can get all that information on it. Smyrna High School printed those for us. And I spent part of the day going through some information that I'd like to share with you. It's not actually on your report. This past month, the month of November, we hauled 723 loads of garbage. Now, this is convenience center operation only. This doesn't include the front loaders, which does the schools. We hauled 286 loads of recycle. The garbage, the total weight was 2,719 tons. The recycle total weight was 350 tons. That sounds like a real low number, but it actually is a pretty decent number. That puts us at about 13% recycling rate just with those numbers alone. So that's 1,009 loads. If you remember last month, we had almost 1,200 loads. So it's trending down right now, and that's right after Christmas. We'll make up for all that. We'll get really busy after that. But through our recycling efforts on the convenience center side with the unmanned sites, we ran the numbers today since it's right here close to the first of this month. $159,270 is what we've collected in recycle rebates so far. And now there's still some outstanding money to be collected. You know, some companies don't pay right at the first of the month. We were budgeted to take in, I think, $75,000. So we're a little bit above budget. The reason I brought that up, probably in February, I'm going to come to you, we'll check these numbers again, and we may want to recognize some of this revenue and put it toward a new roll-off truck. This money's coming in because we don't have the contract anymore, we're hauling it ourselves. We've already got one truck in the order, and we may want to try to push and get another one on this thing, be it the truck bid was a little over $132,000. So we'll have more than enough in here at that time. We just want to look at it and make sure everything's still running on track. I talked to Mac of Nashville, that's who's gotten the bid. If we put the truck out, order the truck early March, we'll have it before this budget year's over. And that's what I was going to do, try to get it in this budget year, try to get it right at the end of the budget year. The unmanned sites versus the convenience center sites, compactability is the big thing that you look at. If you break it down by tons per load, it's quite a bit of difference. The compactors for the cardboard average almost 5 tons of load. The containers for the cardboard at those 4 unmanned sites average less than a ton of load. So on our cardboard, on the compacted loads, we hauled 102 loads at 500, a little over 500 tons. On our recycled loads, we hauled 215 loads at 203 tons. So there's quite a bit of difference there. So recycling is also being a little bit wise and using the materials wise. So we'll have to continue to look at that and see if those sites can't be incorporated into the convenience center site to where we get a little better compactability. Any questions on that? Of course, our northern end of the county is still the 3 largest convenience center users. If you look at your report, if you look at the hauls from centers, down toward the bottom is the hill yard, which that's a pretty large number. But that hill yard, what that represents is the loads that are picked up after the landfill closes on Saturday through Sunday. And the hill yard loads for last month of November, was 126 loads hauled after 12 o'clock on Saturday or Sunday. So out of those 723, 126 of those was actually hauled twice. Pick them up, you swap them out, and set them off on the hill yard, and you have to dump them throughout the week.
Any questions?
I got any questions? You got anything else?
No, sir.
Anybody got any questions? No, I'll take a motion to approve his reports.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Thank you.
I don't think we got any other business. Anybody got any other business they want to bring up on the board?
I'd just like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas
And the folks watching.
and a Happy New Year. That's right.
Same talk. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.